being along these fault lines is incredible. And honestly, James, our hope is that we're going to hopefully kickstart this whole mining industry for gold in the province, and we can look back 30 years from now and say we were there in the early stages of this district.
My next guest is Jeff Swinoga. He's the CEO of Exploits Gold, trading on the CSE under the symbol NFLD. Jeff, welcome.
Oh, great. Well, thanks, James. It's a pleasure to be on the show.
You bet, Jeff. It's a pleasure to have you. Jeff, give us an overview of your project and what you're doing, and where it is, and who your neighbors are.
Great. Well, thanks, James. And Exploits Discovery, we're looking for high-grade orogenic gold in the province of Newfoundland, Canada. So we've accumulated one of the largest land positions around companies like Newfound Gold and Labrador Gold. We've got a great, talented exploration team, mostly local guys. And then we've got $10 million of cash as of October 31st. Very supportive shareholders, 18% held by Eric Sprott, 11% held by Newfound Gold themselves, and 6% by Sprott Asset Management. So we're very pleased to be part of this whole gold rush that's happening in the beautiful province of Newfoundland.
Sure. And are there gold mines existing in Newfoundland currently?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, there's Marathon's going to be building one. There's Signal, the old Anaconda. So there was Hope Brook as well. So they do have some mining history. Of course, Voisey's Bay is there. That's not gold. But it's a great jurisdiction to be in from a mining perspective. I was just recently at their CIM event about 3 weeks ago. 200, 300 people attending, met all the claims officers, the government, the local geologists. Everyone is just so supportive. I even heard a story a couple weeks ago where they were moving some mining equipment through a local town, and it's almost like a parade. People are almost like clapping because they want to promote local employment, keep local people working in the province for the benefit of the province. So it's good. No, it's really good.
Yeah, right on. So what has been sort of the exploration success to date of your neighbors? Newfound Gold in particular is trading at a pretty high valuation based on some rather successful drill results, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they've really kicked off this whole gold rush in the province. They found the Keats Zone, which is a super high grade gold discovery. They shot up to over $1 billion in valuation. Other companies have had good success too, like Labrador Gold. So we're the smallest of the three right now. But we're all in the same jurisdiction, and we've just picked up some amazing claims. But I think it's going to make us a very prominent player in the province.
Sure, I've heard Newfoundland described as probably Canada's most underexplored potential prospective gold zones in Canada. Why is that?
Oh, well, it's a great point because I guess it's been largely underexplored because, first of all, there's these large, massive faults going through the province, and the most prominent one right now is the Appleton Fault, where we've had the big gold discoveries like Keats and Lotto and Big Vein and Golden Glove, and those are sort of analogous to the Fosterville find that they had. And so Fosterville mine in Australia is like one of the most profitable and high grade mines in the world. And that's one of the reasons why Agnico Eagle took over Kirkland and Kirkland took over Newmarket and so forth, just to get access to that incredible gold mine, especially the Swan Zone where they found the orogenic gold. So these fault lines that are running through the province are these massive megastructures, and it's almost akin to the early days of maybe the Abitibi, right, where you have like that Cadillac break situation. So being along these fault lines is incredible. And honestly, James, our hope is that we're going to hopefully kickstart this whole mining industry for gold in the province, and we can look back 30 years from now and say we were there in the early stages of this district.
Yeah, that sounds pretty exciting. So then you've got quite a drill program lined up for 2023?
Yeah, no, we're drilling our Titan property right now, but the key thing that we've been focused on the last month and a bit is these new claims we picked up. The key one's called Bullseye, and the reason we call it Bullseye is right between Newfound Gold and Labrador Gold, and it's right along the Appleton Fault. So it's like winning the lottery. I just can't describe how happy and blessed we are because you have to stake it. So basically it's first come, first served, 9 o'clock in the morning. And the guys just did an incredible job. And so we're able to get one of the best claims in the province to be staked. And we call it Bullseye because it's uniquely placed right on the Appleton between Newfound Gold's discoveries like Keats, Lotto, and Lotto North. If you go to our corporate presentation, slide 14 and 15, you'll see it all kind of mapped out. And to the north, you've got Golden Glove. So these gold discoveries are literally on the border of our Bullseye claim. And there's over a dozen drills right now turning around it. So I can't think of a better claim to have. And so to your point about drilling, we're looking to drill that probably in February. But first we need to get the permits. So we're looking to get the permits in a couple weeks. And once, literally the day we get that permit, we're going to be on the field doing ground truthing, ground mag, prospecting, looking for quartz as well. But I think we kind of know where we want to drill right now already. But we need to get on the ground and make sure we can kind of do all the proving up that we want to do in validation. But if everything does exactly what we think is going to happen, I think we're going to be drilling early February. Assays will probably come out 8 weeks later, probably in March. And so, yeah, it's going to be an exciting journey, James. Like, you ever watch these shows like Gold Hunters, like in Australia or in Alaska? I just wish we could have a drone on the back of, or even a camera on the back of our geologists as we enter into the bullseye, and we kind of hopefully start seeing the quartz outcroppings, and you can see the drills maybe like 100 meters away, and you hear them turning, and it's going to be exciting times. Yeah.
Sure. The process of discovery in gold mining is usually where the company experiences its most rapid and significant rise in valuation. And so at this point, would you consider yourself as having made a discovery?
Yeah, so James, for me, I've had a career in mining for about 25 years. I typically worked for operating companies like Barrick Gold. I've worked at Torex Gold, but this is an opportunity to be at that sort of. I'm not sure if you're familiar with the Lassonde curve, where you have this sort of pre-discovery at the very high risk, high return situation where you have your first gold discovery, and then you sort of shoot up in valuation. And then you sort of top off a little bit when you have your resource, and then you're into maybe a construction phase, right? And then you get your operating metrics, and then you sort of have another pickup again. We're at that base of that Lassonde curve, so pre-gold discovery. And we've had some limited success, but with this new Bullseye claims and the other claims that we've just picked up, I think there's a much higher probability now of having a gold discovery. So we're extremely pleased.
Sure. And what's the infrastructure like in the area we're in terms of roads, electricity, access to power, labor, et cetera?
Yeah, no, great question. Literally, it's 20, 30 minutes away from Gander. So the historic town of Gander, that's where our office is based. A great team is there, and power is close by, water, roads, local roads. So again, its time zone is pretty friendly too. So friendly jurisdiction with the government and the local geologists. Everyone's really helpful. I'm not sure if you ever go down to downtown St. John's and people just stop you on the street and try and help you. It kind of feels like that around our exploration properties as well.
Yeah, so. Newfoundlanders are very aggressively friendly.
Yeah, they're super. Yeah.
Great, Jeff. Well, so then you mentioned that Newfound Gold, to one of your neighbor, is an 11% owner of your company. That's not a common relationship to have with one of your neighbors in the exploration game, is it?
Well, other companies own some shares of others, and I think they see the value in owning shares in us. They did pick up those shares through a land acquisition, but they've held on to them, and I think they see the value when you have again, we're probably the smallest of the three players in the area, but I have to say, with these new claims, I think we're probably got the most upside, if you want to call it, for being a catalyst, because we haven't had our first gold discovery yet. The other two have had their gold discoveries. So once we have ours, I think there's going to be tremendous upside. So I think they see that, and I think they recognize that. So whether you want to call it a toehold or just an investment to watch or sharing the excitement that we have, we're very pleased to have them as shareholders.
Sure. You mentioned that you acquired the Bullseye property through the process of staking, which to most of the audience, they imagine a prospector out in the bush with a bunch of wooden stakes on his back, and he's trying to, get his bearings via compass and survey equipment. But that's not how staking's done. So my first question is, why wasn't this property already staked if it's so good? And B, how was it that you were able to stake it if you didn't have guys in the bush?
Great. Well, these properties have been sort of off the market for a couple of years, and I think what happened was that the government really wanted to make sure it was a fair process, make sure it was they had enough computing power, because they knew after Newfound found the Keats and the whole gold rush was happening, these properties would be highly sought after, right? So didn't want any mistakes on how to access the property or how to stake them, as you mentioned. But it's very simple, really. At 9 o'clock in the morning on a Tuesday, when these claims come up to be available, it's really the first one to type in all the information. You have to be a registered user. And so about 8 months ago, there was a couple claims that we wanted to stake up north, and we weren't successful. I said, you know what, we got to get good at this. We got to make it like a core competency of the company. So we dedicated a lot of time, practice, energy, resources to it. And I think we became pretty good. And I think it's a bit being lucky too. So it's, again, like winning the lottery to get this bullseye claim. So I got to tell you, the guys in Gander, when they found out, there was like a big hurrah, and there people were doing high fives, and my phone lit up, and all the guys were calling, and they said, we got it. So again, it's just a great feeling, and I can't say enough about our team. They live and dream about being on bullseye when we get the permits. So it's going to be exciting. Yeah.
Okay, good, Jeff. Well, we'll leave it there for now and come back to you in due course. It's a very exciting project you've got on your hands. We'll follow along with great interest. Thanks for your time today.
Yeah, thanks, James. Yeah, please follow us. Yeah.
You bet. Bye for now.